Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel, and this is a follow-up to the FBI raid of former Donald Trump's home. I want to welcome all of you guys here if you are new, and to all the returning viewers and subscribers and supporters of the channel. Thank you so very much. As you guys know, if you were to look up FBI raid on Donald Trump, of course, YouTube would have all of their premium users up front, which would be the mainstream media, and even content creators like myself. I am a very tiny channel, so your guys' likes, subscriptions, and comments help this channel out tremendously. And I know I get a lot of flack sometimes from New Tech about why I haven't abandoned or left YouTube altogether. Well, if I were to leave YouTube, or if all conservative commentary were to leave YouTube, then the left and the progressives, cancel culture, outrage mobs, and woke would have a complete monopoly on the platform. Now, I know that I am competing with the premium channels, which would be many within the mainstream media. So thank you guys for your continued support. Eric Trump said he was the one who informed his father that Mar-a-Lago was being searched by the FBI. Eric Trump tells Fox News that the FBI raid on Monday of his father's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida was conducted over documents sought by the National Archives. Now, it's important to note here that President Trump left the White House, Melania and Barron, and those who were there, left the White House in January of 2021. So that's roughly over, we'll say, a year and 7 months ago, roughly. So quite some time. And now the government, the FBI, the Department of Justice, the Biden administration now decides, as we're in the midterms, to act on this information. And of course, earlier this year, we had yet another unprecedented event, and that was the leak on Roe versus Wade from the Supreme Court, which also has not happened. And I argue, and it is my opinion, that this is hardly a coincidence. Because as you guys know, we have talked about now for several years that the Democrats, working alongside the mainstream media, tech giants, special interest, Hollywood, the elites in this country, all work together to get as many people to hate President Trump as they did. And we saw from Molly Ball's article where she describes these individual people as, excuse me, guys, as a cabal of people working together to ensure an outcome of an election. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I say the establishment, I hope that at this point you now know what I'm talking about. So smash that like button if you agree, comment if you want to add to it. From The Guardian, Donald Trump says Mar-a-Lago home raided as FBI executes search warrant as it happened. So we're just going to kind of go over some of the highlights here. Former U.S. President Donald Trump claimed FBI agents raided his Mar-a-Lago estate on Monday. Well, it's not a claim. It actually happened. We saw it on video. The FBI executed a search warrant around 6 p.m., which appears to have been related to an investigation into Trump's unlawfully taking White House classified documents with him to Mar-a-Lago after his presidency. Now, presidents do have a certain level of executive privilege, and as President Trump outlined, the Clintons actually took furniture and other items as well. But as we know, the Democrats are the ones who enjoy pursuing their political enemies and use the government, leverage the government to persecute their political enemies. And I want to mention here, too, that voting in the United States, if you're a foreigner listening to this right now and hearing my voice, I want to express to you something very simple, very basic. Voting in the United States belongs to we, the people, not we, the government, or we, the Democrats. When the Democrats say threat to democracy, when you hear them say that, what they are saying is, if you don't vote for us, if you don't vote for Democrats, we will be under threat, and therefore that is a threat to our democracy. Voting in the United States belongs to we the people. We are a constitutional republic with democratically elected officials. We practice democracy here as our system to elect those particular politicians. Trump released a lengthy statement following the speech comparing the FBI raid to Watergate, as we went over yesterday. So if you haven't seen the video from yesterday, we go over his actual statements that he made. Trump was not at the estate at the time of the raid. He was in New York. The White House said that no advance information of the White House said that it had no advance information of the FBI search. So I find it fascinating because we're gonna listen to a CBS constitutional expert here in just a moment. I'm going to grab my headset so I can do that here and hear it with you guys. The FBI obtained warrants to search Mar-a-Lago because they were to establish probable cause. We're going to get into that here momentarily. Former acting U.S. Solicitor General, so forth and so on. Republicans respond. Now, this was all early. This particular article is all early. We have more information now, but I just want to touch on that. There's a lot of content to go over here, and you see here from the Daily Mail, exclusive, Trump could be banned from holding public office if he is found guilty of mishandling classified White House records, and the legal saga will be a huge, as they say in New York, a huge development for his 2024 hopes, legal experts warn. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now have confirmation, as we have talked about now for at least 3 years, that the Democrats were going to pull all the stops to ensure that President Trump could not run for office. And this is it. So I want you to take a moment, hit that like button, congratulate yourself, let people know we have the information, we have the evidence now, we have it in clear sight. Make sure you share this video with those individuals so they can see exactly what we have been talking about, what you have agreed with me upon. Of course, a lot of this is my opinion, but look what happened. We have the evidence right here, because we also saw the same thing happen to Marjorie Taylor Greene here in Georgia, where they attempted to stop her from being able to participate in the democratic process. Don't you find it fascinating that the Democrats scream threat to democracy, yet they try to deny President Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene of participating in the process itself? Voting belongs to we the people, not we the government. We the government right now under Joe Biden is attempting to inhibit Donald Trump from being able to participate in democracy, in Marjorie Taylor Greene in democracy. And here in Georgia, of course, they are still going over the phone call that he made to our governor, Brian Kemp, during that time. So as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, I want everyone to congratulate themselves. I want to congratulate you too, because we have arrived at this point. We have arrived at the point that I have always talked about, and that is they are trying to keep Donald Trump from being able to run in 2024. And there's Donald Trump and some of the images from the raid, which is absolutely ridiculous. And we're going to hear from the constitutional expert. Actually, let's just go ahead and go to her right now, guys. So let's take a listen.
We've never had a private residence of a former president be searched by the FBI.
Jessica Levinson is a constitutional law professor and CBS News legal contributor. She says investigators would have needed strong evidence to obtain a warrant for the former president's home.
What they need is probable cause that there was a federal crime that was committed, and probable cause that the evidence of that crime is where they say it was, in this case at Mar-a-Lago.
So, as you can see, I'm going to let it play for just one more second here. I'm going to go ahead and mute it. As you can see, it would have required an extraordinary level of information to know, one, that Donald Trump had the information they're looking for, and two, where it would be specifically within his home. So these are two very big hurdles they're going to have to deal with. And Democrats have taken huge chances already. Let me give you a perfect example of the absurdity, because for 2 years, the Democrats, working alongside the FBI and the mainstream media and tech giants, along with Hollywood and others, perpetrated a fabricated story that Donald Trump was involved in Russian collusion. And what Andrew McCabe here, former FBI deputy director, is saying is essentially what that constitutional scholar just said as well, and that is that they would have to have very specific information. It would have to come directly from the top. So, as I said, Donald Trump left the White House in January 20 of 2021, about a year and 7 months ago. So this was all coming together. They were waiting for the midterms. They were waiting for the polling, because Democrats are scumbags. That's what they are. And they are illustrating how desperate they are, how angst-filled, full of hate they are towards Donald Trump, and it is disgusting. Hordes of angry Trump supporters descend on Mar-a-Lago in the hours following shock FBI raid of ex-president's Florida club. I don't know why they call them ex-presidents, former. MAGA crowd questions agency's motives and blast double standard in reporting of Hunter Biden and Nancy Pelosi. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is not a mystery here that we have seen, for example, that when it comes to Hunter Biden and his laptop, or anything that the Democrats really do, it is all suppressed and censored. In other words, someone like myself, a simple YouTube commentator, would be banned or suspended. My channel would get a strike. I would most certainly not get ads. And if you guys try to search for my content by FBI raid or any other content involving my commentary, you're going to have to go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different channels. All these premium channels, all of these priority channels that YouTube puts ahead of me. That's why I count on you guys to help me out with that information. So as you can see here, Trump supporters aren't going to take it. We have crossed a red line. The Rubicon, as it were, has been crossed, and it is absolutely absurd. It is absolutely ridiculous. And you can see the support that Donald Trump has. I would argue far more supporters than, say, those involved in activism when it comes to, say, things like Antifa, Black Bloc, and Black Lives Matter. And there's a lot of them, but there are even more Trump supporters because, of course, a lot of those individuals who participate in that level of activism is George Soros supported. So they're paid individuals or paid agitators, as sometimes people would say. So we have this tweet from Ari Fleischer. All I can say is the FBI better have the goods. This better be a slam dunk criminal case. Otherwise, the Biden administration and DOJ have crossed a line of no return. If they got the goods, announce it. Otherwise, this search on a former president's home is a disgrace. That is absolutely correct, as I said, because for 2 years, they tried to perpetuate a fabricated story about Russian collusion. We saw what happened with Jesse Smollett, knowing that he was incorrect about that. And, of course, we saw what happened to Nicholas Sandmann and the Covington kids in Washington. We saw what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse. We have seen the Democrats get away with this absurdity for too long. And this is why I started doing more shorts, more political shorts. If you guys haven't already, when you go to the main channel, you can see my shorts. I have posted more political shorts, more political commentary, because this is absurd. I know I only have 7,000 subscribers, and I get very few views, which is yet another example of how YouTube prioritizes the content, where my stuff gets pushed way down. So your guys' support is always appreciated, just like with Super Thanks. Super Thanks down there in the bottom right-hand corner. It is now available on mobile, thanks to our good friend Lynn, who is a dedicated, lovely subscriber to the channel. But as you can see here, my concern has been, and I believe that the Republicans will have a very significant win come November, and I'm looking forward to it, and the Democrats already know this based on polling and other information. Republicans speak out against FBI raid of Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Since news broke that the FBI searched former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate on Monday, a growing number of Republicans have spoken out against the raid. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Republican of California, tweeted a statement that read in part, "I've seen enough. The Department of Justice has reached an intolerable state of weaponized politicization." McCarthy continued, "When Republicans take back the House, we will conduct immediate oversight of this department, follow the facts, and leave no stone unturned." And this is what I was concerned about. This is what many individuals were concerned about. If the Republicans win, are they willing to at least resort to what Kevin McCarthy is saying here? Because this is typically what Democrats do. They enjoy pursuing their political enemies. As we talked about on Monday, the reconciliation bill, where the Democrats bypassed the methods of the filibuster to be able to, weave this in as a budgetary. I'm having trouble speaking these last couple days. So they went around the filibuster method and did it through a budgetary system. And so the Republicans weren't able to filibuster the Reconciliation Act or what they're calling the climate control and so forth and so on. It's absolute nonsense because the Democrats are scumbags now. If you didn't know that, now you do. So Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene took it a step further, tweeting, "Defund the FBI." Wow. Absolutely extraordinary, guys. And I would love to give your thoughts and comments down below. I'd like to know what you guys think about all that has gone on and the despicable levels that we have reached here in our country. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment of our system. It is we the people who decide how voting is conducted in this country, not we the Democrats or we the government. What a disgrace. What an absolute disgrace to see this happen to a former president. So I want to hear your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section. Thank you for your support. All of you guys on DTube, BitChute, Rumble. I want to thank all of you guys for your continued support. Odyssey. And, of course, here on YouTube, that would be the channel icon appearing right there on the screen for you guys to subscribe. You can click on that to obviously subscribe, as well as get notifications. That way you'll know when there's content here on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video.